Hello, and welcome back to the isolation games. We are on the second O week, and this week I've named the trick the Dynamic Doorway Duo. This week, the TinyWhoop.com weekly sponsored prize is an FPV cam and VTX combo from TinyWhoop called the Pinch. It's one of the best Whoop cameras out there on the market right now. So big thanks goes out to TinyWhoop for the great weekly prizes. This is the fourth week of the isolation games, and in the first 3 weeks, many players have already collected W, H, and O, which means they only need 2 more letters to spell Whoop and get into the Champions giveaway. However, the tricks will be getting more difficult going into the last 3 weeks, as you will see starting with this week's trick. So now let's jump into the requirements for the second O week's trick, the Dynamic Doorway Duo. Requirement number 1 is that you find a doorway-sized obstacle. So it can be an actual doorway inside your house, or you can set up some type of gate outside that is a maximum of 3 feet wide and 7 feet tall. Requirement number 2 is that you perform a half-matty through the doorway. So if you're not familiar, let's pretend that the doorway is right here at the center. A half-matty is when you're flying at a point of interest like the doorway, and then you do a half roll to inverted, and then you pitch up as you pass through the doorway like the second half of a MattyFlip. And then after you've passed through the door, you should be looking back at it, and that gets us to requirement number 3, which is then you pass through the door and then perform a SnapBack, which is a half backflip or a half front flip, and then a roll out as you're looking at the doorway. So the main point of emphasis for the snapback is that after you do the half flip, you can see the doorway in your point of view, and then as you roll out and drift back, you keep the doorway in your view. Alright everyone, so we're halfway through the competition now, and as you can see, the tricks are going to be getting more difficult, and that will continue next week. So good luck and happy whooping!